On a rainy Monday morning, Augustine was working in his office when he got his retirement letter. Happily, he went back home and celebrated with his family for serving his country very well. Some months later, he got his pension. Augustine thought of what to do with his pension, and he decided to invest it in a business to generate him money. He went to a canoe workshop and paid the builder to make him a canoe. When the canoe was ready, he took it to his friend who worked in a river band. Augustine handed the canoe over to his friend Paul. Augustine told his friend to paddle the canoe for business and in return pay him some wages. Augustine went and thought of another business to support his canoe business. Because he lived in a riverine area, he started fishing. His fishing business was doing so well and he made lots of profits from selling the fish in the market. Dry season set in and there weren't much fishes in the river as it used to be. Augustine needed money. At that time, he remembered he gave his friend a canoe to paddle for him and had not received any money from him. Augustine went to the river bank and met his friend and asked him for some money. Paul told him to go and come back later. Later, Augustine returned back to his friend, but his friend got agitated and told him that the canoe belongs to him. Augustine was mad and told his friend, I gave you this canoe to paddle for business. But his friend in return denied it and said, after all, there was no written agreement, that this canoe belongs to me now. Augustine was so mad, he went to Paul's house and complained to Paul's wife. But Paul's wife said to him, the business is between you and my husband. I have nothing to say to you. Augustine went home and was down. He didn't see justice coming, so he decided to embark on a journey to see Yeskay Deity. He embarked on a journey into the forest to take his plight to the deity. On arrival, he met the chief priest who took him to lay his complaint before the deity. After narrating his story before the deity, he went home. A few days later, an invitation was sent to Paul from Yeskay Deity, but Paul and his wife did not respond to the call. 2 more messages were sent, but Paul turned it down. The deity became so angry, he sent a message to Augustine and told him to remove his hand from the case, that the case now belongs to the deity. Few months later, the deity sent an agent of death who started killing in Paul's house. One evening, Paul came back from work and slumped in front of his house and died. Few weeks later, his son died. The upper week, his second son died. Paul's wife became so worried. She rushed back to Augustine and pleaded for forgiveness. But Augustine in return told him that the matter belongs to the deity now, that if she wants any help, she should go to the deity. Paul's wife left. On getting home that evening, she met her only daughter lying dead in front of their compound. She was so mad and down. 2 nights later, while she was on her bed, the agent of death visited her. Woman, in your next life, make sure you answer the call of a deity. The agent of death killed her. Years later, Augustine invited his family for a feast. While they ate, he was so happy watching his family. After the feast, he retired to his bed That night, he died.